Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by two LEGO legends all the way down here in Orlando Brick Co. So we're not filming in our usual Atlanta studio, which I'm excited about. But we've got Grumpy J and Flounder. Two guys who you see in the chat all the time. Or if you go watch any streams at Orlando Brick Co.'s channel, you can check them out there. So how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Excellent.
Doing great. Just sad that Nexus to Zach didn't come to our grand opening.
He didn't.
He missed it. He did.
He said he was going to come, and I brought a nice sock with your name on it to give to him.
I was wondering what the sock was all about.
And he never showed up.
Wasn't who was Nexus is X saying doesn't exist? Was it you? Yeah, so you're giving him a sock so that you do exist, is what
You
you're saying.
think I'm real, Mark?
No, I believe you're real. I don't think I'm tripping out that much.
Okay.
So yeah.
This is really Ryan in disguise.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, we're all here today to talk about one of our favorite LEGO themes. That is LEGO Lord of the Rings and slash The Hobbit. And honestly, in contention for one of the best LEGO themes ever because of some amazing sets and fantastic minifigures, which is kind of the subject we're going to dive into today. Our top 6 LEGO Lord of the Rings slash Hobbit minifigures. And I would have thought this would be more Lord of the Rings skewing, but Grumpy J and myself, I think, have picked a couple Hobbit characters. So we'll have a little bit of a mix there, which is nice. So some great figures to talk about. I'll go first, but then we'll proceed down the line and talk about all 6 of them. I think the most basic one that I have here is Goblin Soldier number 1 here. And you were asking me about this earlier, Flounder. Is there a relevance to the game that might be some...
Because he can climb on, like, the walls or something.
Interesting. So he has an extra feature in the Lord of the Rings.
You need him to progress through, like, free play and all that.
Interesting. Okay. So that would be useful for that game.
Now, which game, though?
The Lord of the Rings, or would have been the
Traveler's
Hobbit.
Tales, LEGO
okay.
Lord of the Rings game, yeah, or Hobbit game.
Yeah, the most annoying thing about the Hobbit game was it actually only included the first 2 movies. They didn't do one for the final movie.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. Yeah, because there's a trilogy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if I recall right, it ends with you're escaping smog.
So it's like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, the reason I picked this character is, and it's kind of tying into the new Barad-dûr release, is that I think we need more little ugly guys, little minions. We need more goblins and orcs and stuff. And they've thankfully included several in the latest biggest set, which is a little out of some people's price point. But this guy here, he's still relatively affordable. He's $20 here at Atlanta Brick Co. and Orlando Brick Co. So you can get a couple of these not too badly. He's still not cheap, but he's affordable.
I'm surprised that he didn't come, or a goblin would come in the D&D set, or stuff like that.
And honestly, other Fantasy Castle sets could definitely boost the number of
goblins and trolls,
creepy, villainish characters.
They did do a CMF. Was it the Troll? Series ago.
They did the Orc Warrior, Troll Warrior, and then they also did a little goblin back in the day with like a pointed hat and ears.
He's like a recolored Green Goblin now.
Yeah,
I
kind of.
Like he's a true goblin.
This guy is like kind of horrific with his teeth and his eyes. He's got these kind of minty green eyes and a really like a big swollen head. So
the headpiece. Yeah,
I like this figure.
He has a face too.
Yeah, he's got it's a piece on top of his head. It's almost like a headgear piece. But he's supposed to be bald, so he's really cool. But I just like these creepy goblin figures, and this is one that stood out to me in the case here. I could easily see myself getting this just to include in a fantasy medieval scene, kind of in the back alley trying to sell you a potion or something. Anyway, what do you guys think about the goblins? Do you like to collect these? Do you want an army of these, or do you not prefer these for the elves? What do you guys think, Grumpy?
I've got the Goblin King, and I gotta say, I gotta get a couple goblins to go with him. Mm-hmm. I know they come in different colors, but I do like this
dark tan
more
one.
Dark tan.
Those are his goblins.
Yeah. The Goblin King.
These are his.
From
okay.
the set he comes in. There's 3 of those. 3 different versions of them.
Yeah, I like that. I think they could have done something different with the headpiece, but I like the ears and the way it looks. But yeah, I'd definitely say they need to bring more of them back.
He even has the little scribe goblin in the set. It has short legs.
Oh, yeah.
The little short...
He's like riding on that little thing.
Yeah,
that's great. And this is the kind of the bald-headed one, but there are goblins with the long hair, too.
The green ones from Moria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think, Flounder? How do you feel about the goblins?
My answer to every figure is going to be yes. I would get it.
Because you have this one, don't you?
I do have it. But I think even if you weren't into Lord of the Rings and you were like more of a fantasy fan, like probably you are, that this is still a figure you could use in your collection or mock or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was kind of leaning towards this one. Although there are a bunch of great goblin and orc figures that I think need more representation and more examples of in modern sets that are affordable.
Like hill trolls and stuff like
that.
that.
Well, one good thing about him, too, is he doesn't have brittle brown.
Yeah, he's pretty sturdy.
True.
Yeah, he'll be safe for at least a little bit longer. But yeah, Grumpy J, what's the next figure you want to present here?
I'm just going to go with classic. I'm going to start with Gimli here.
Oh, yes.
You know, everyone can love Dorf's sarcastic humor and the
Hatred of
seriousness
elves.
of hatred of elves.
Yeah.
And I like dwarves in general as any faction. I have a bunch of books at home with dwarves and stuff. You got to respect them. They're hardy. They're mountain people. They
Meat eaters.
Yeah, and all they do is just
They're
mine.
grounded.
Yeah, and they're tough little warriors. It's hard to take down a dwarf. I mean, if you look at the 5 armies, look at what was his name? The cousin with the red, big Stonefoot.
He's going to be presented
Dane.
later. Here, yeah.
Dane Ironfoot.
Yeah, Ironfoot. And I mean, you look at that, then you look at any D&D dwarfs are
Tanky.
yeah, they're just incredible to go after. But Gimli, just because he's the original from the Lord of the Rings, the humor he has, the picture of that's my son, and he's got the humor, and against Legolas he's not going to be as good, but
he's got memes on his side. Yeah, so.
he's there with it
for sure,
and he's all about his family.
He's deadly over short distance, though.
Yeah, exactly. Dwarves
look how long
are fast
he ran.
sprinters.
He was running with everyone else, keeping up, not huffing or puffing.
Exactly. The fact that he kept up with Aragorn and Legolas over that run for who knows how long was very impressive.
One step of theirs is 2 of his. You know?
And he was one of, I think, maybe the only dwarf I can at least think of that was able to go with the elves to the Undying Lands. Too. So he got that honor.
A pretty distinct honor for a dwarf. But the figure also, I mean, he's one of the more common figures because of the dimensions released later. But that helmet,
the printing on that helmet alone. I mean, what is that? Like I was gonna say rose, but that,
kind of a copper color.
Yeah, kind of copper. But it goes all the way around it. Really intricate detail on that.
And it was so good they basically reused it again for the new Gimli.
Exactly. Yeah, they just kind of did a carbon
now,
copy.
with the new Gimli, does he have the short legs that can bend, or does he still?
He has the mid legs, and I think they did improve on the beard piece. The middle part of the beard's a little shorter, so you can see the. I don't know what you'd call
a
it.
little bit of his torso.
We'll pick that up.
So
the belt buckle, you mean?
Oh no, his beard actually. Like this middle part of the beard is shorter.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see his. I don't know if those are French braids or what those are, but you can see
the texture, right?
Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
Neat, he's a good figure.
So I have several Gimli figures because for a while he was fairly affordable from the dimension spec, like I mentioned. So I think I have like at least 4 or 5 of these. They're great. The torso is great for even other uses if you get it outside of the beard situation. So
that's a great torso.
And then Grumpy J, do you have this figure personally in your collection?
I actually don't. So he might actually be coming home with me tonight.
There you go. Awesome.
I don't have Gimli. I do have a couple of the other dwarfs, but I didn't. For some reason, I didn't get Gimli at the time because I think he got expensive, and then I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't think he's too bad. Yeah, like what are we pricing?
I know we have a sealed dimensions Gimli pack at the store. I don't think it's that much.
Yeah, I feel like he's still in the 20 or less range. So yeah,
unless you bought the Star Destroyer yet, then you should have plenty of.
Oh no, I got the BD1 though. I did buy him.
There you go.
I got him today.
Now, Flounder, you've obviously collected every Lord of the Rings figure.
I would get this.
But yeah, you would get this.
Gimli's one of my favorite characters from all the movies and books and everything. But I do need to get the Gimli keychain now because the other day I came in and I saw there was a Bilbo keychain. I asked Mark, should I get this? And you were like, yes. I'm like, great, now I'm going to have to get them all. So
I wasn't trying to start you on a dark path there, Flounder, but no.
There you go. There goes your credits.
If you want to, beat Joe at his own game, I think the keychain game is the next tier.
I think Joe is number 3 on the list if I die and he gets this store display.
So who's number 1 and 2?
My wife is number 1.
Okay,
that's good. My best friend Big Lad is number 2.
Okay.
So Joe has to pick those 2 people to get this.
So if we want to take Joe out.
There you go. And yeah, that is a beautiful minifigure store display there, Flounder. Very nice. Can you briefly tell us how you acquired that?
So looking on eBay for just store displays, I came across that probably 3.5 years ago. Wow. And there wasn't a lot of bids on it. I think it was only up to like $50. It didn't seem like there was a lot of interest. So I'm like, okay, I always wait till like the last few seconds and bid. I got outbidded pretty badly.
Oh no.
So I'm like, but I want it. So like for the next 2 years, I would consistently look up this store display, and I finally found one. I'm like, this is coming home with me. And I put out a bid, It didn't thankfully go to the top of it, but I was willing to basically say I'm taking this.
Exactly.
And I got it. I think I paid $250 for it, which is pretty good.
That's not bad. I was thinking you probably paid a little bit more than that, but $250.
I'm pretty sure it was $250.
I mean,
whatever it was, I forgot because I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is Legolas and Samwise's head are switched. So.
Oh, you got like a misprint there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I like the fact that that's unique, but I also hate the fact that they're not their true, figures.
It's not accurate.
Well, you can always take the sides
I'm too
off.
scared I would damage it.
Yeah, they are going to be glued, I imagine.
Yeah, they're glued.
So interesting.
M&R told me that I could do it, but I'm still too worried to do it.
That's like shipping a bottle type finesse there. Yeah.
There's also a Helm's Deep store display that I'm sure that is extremely pricey, but I would love to add that to my collection.
I'm sure there's a couple in circulation like other Lego themes. That's interesting.
Those probably have the lights in it.
Yeah, it has. It's like in one of those boxes, and it has the button where you can press to light it up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, one day, Flounder, then you'll have the ultimate Lord of the Rings collection. Yeah. But outside of this amazing store display, what's the first figure you want to present for us here?
I actually have Brandiel from The Hobbit,
Ooh.
Legolas's father.
There you go.
I think that this figure is super cool and unique with the crown he has and the molded head. And I also really like I can't remember his name right now, but the actor, because he also played Ronan the Accuser.
Yes.
At the same time.
Underrated actor. I'm trying to remember his name now.
And he has a really cool voice. And I thought he did a fantastic job as the character in the movies.
It's funny as I have 8 of just the hair pieces with the crown.
Really?
From Whatnot. A guy was selling a bunch of pieces, and he threw out a bag with a bunch of those, and I was like, what do I need them for? But he sold them for $3, and I took them.
Wow, so that's a great deal.
I have a bunch of head pieces with the crowns, so if you need an extra one, I got a
I think I have 3 of these guys myself. When I was first starting to collect Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, before I went on the quest to get every set like a madman, I was buying the figures individually, and this is one of the first ones I got from Bricks and Minifigs in Austin.
There you go.
So
beautiful
special
all
figure
around
as well. Yeah, he's a great figure.
Yeah, torso, leg,
back, everything.
Very cool.
The only thing I wish that they had done is with his alternate head is they printed like the dragon scars that he had in the movie.
Yeah, that would have been
and
cool.
like the one white eye and then like a pupil eye.
Yeah.
Neat.
Because I remember that scene in the movie where it kind of flashes back and forth.
I'll show you what a dragon can do.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I would choose to collect this. I like elves. I think they're pretty interesting. Even if it wasn't just for the character in Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, which I also enjoy, the pieces are useful for sure. That elven crown is very unique. So, Grumpy J, would you choose to collect this as well? Oh, yeah, obviously, you have the hair piece.
I have the hair piece.
You need the rest of them.
Would you finish the rest of them at some point?
Yeah, I would have to get this for my collection. I mean, he is a king. He is in charge of the elves, so he's got to represent the elves.
Pretty cool.
And to have Legolas's dad, I mean...
There you go.
Like I said, the printing is amazing with the silver and the gold all through it. Yeah, I definitely have to get him.
If I remember correctly, he didn't even have a name in the book. So he was an unnamed elven.
They gave him a name in The Hobbit.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Wow. It's been a while since I've read the book.
But yeah, it's a good figure.
There you go. Well, it's interesting that the Hobbit movies were able to actually flesh out some details on their own that were probably glossed over in The Hobbit. It's interesting. So, but I'll circle back over to my side of the table here. We were just talking about the Hobbit, so I'll bring up one of my Hobbit characters. This is Keely, the dwarf. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. I've only either read or heard these names a couple of times. But,
have you seen all the movies?
So I've seen all the Lord of the Rings movies, extended editions, no problem. That was a couple years ago, though, so I'm not like... I can't quote every line, but I definitely know most of the main characters. And then I've only seen the Hobbit movies maybe like... I wasn't even fully paying attention. I was probably at work.
So I not even the extended editions.
Probably not the extended editions, and I need to watch those again.
We're having a lot of film discrepancies.
Exactly. I know. I realize that, and it's a problem.
Between that, the Lego Batman movie yesterday.
Yeah, we need to schedule some watch parties. Fun. That's all we need to do. Yeah, Dune. Yep. Anyway, the special thing about this figure for me is he's got an amazing torso print, and a lot of the dwarves have some great armor and variants to them.
Because that's the work they do in the mines.
Exactly. He has it's with gold buckle is his signifying feature on Bricklink, and I think this is a very cool head for this figure too, and the great hair piece. These dwarven long, kind of masculine hair pieces are really cool, and he's got a great expression there. So 3 pieces which are kind of must-haves for fantasy castle minifig builders are in this figure, and he's just really cool. So I don't know too much about the character other than he was able to romance an elven lady, which is pretty interesting for a dwarf. It's kind of a contentious story item for some people. But what do you think about Keely? What do you think about the cool dwarven armor prints that are seen in some of these figures?
Yeah, I see what you're saying about if you had just a bunch of torsos of this.
I have a couple of the torso, but not the full
great
figure.
army of just, these torsos, change the hair and the head for every figure. But the torso is amazing because it already looks like it's armor,
Like a fancy
Super
knight,
detailed.
nice knight armor.
jousting
all the way around.
type armor or something.
And the arms are metallic.
And a great head and hair too, and he
Yeah.
just looks like a great minifigure. So
That 5 o'clock shadow you can't beat. That's
yeah, I mean,
that's a nice one.
you can see why the what's her name? I'm trying to remember. Tariel.
Tariel.
She was into him because he's a pretty handsome dwarf. I mean,
She
yeah.
wasn't in the books either.
Yeah, she didn't exist, right? So
Yeah, and I love that actress.
Yeah,
Evangeline Lilly.
yes,
Yeah.
also the Wasp. So she did a great job.
I always tell my wife she looks like her, and I don't think she likes that.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, that's a compliment. Yeah,
What
great
your
figure.
wife wants to hear. She wants to hear she's one of a kind.
She could be the Wasp if she wants.
There you go.
Or Kate from Lost. But yeah, great figure. Yeah, if you were just another fantasy collector again, you could just keep reusing.
There's
the
utility to that figure
Yeah.
besides just the cool character. So
You could even use his face. You just put him on normal legs, and he's a great knight-looking character.
yeah.
Already.
I've seen some people use that as their sig fig because it's a very stylish face. So yeah. There
The
you go.
printing at the time was really good for these figures.
It really was. It seems like it was ahead of their time because
Them and Pirates of the Caribbean, I would
it's
say
like
for sure.
new figures don't even come with this much detail. on the
Exactly. I
torsos.
think this was like these might have been like peak minifigures. We
I-
don't really
I
know
agree with
yet,
that.
but I mean,
At
it's
the
possible.
time, I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean was out. That was like peak Star Wars for a lot of people.
Yeah, some of the most iconic Star Wars minifigures came out during these years as well.
Yeah.
So these what was it, 2011, 12,
Yeah, around that age.
13, yeah, great years. But Grumpy J, what's the next second figure you want to present here?
Ooh, let's see. I think I will go. What was his name again?
That one was Beaufort.
Beaufort. There you go.
Beaufort. I liked him. He's the comedian. I like when he's late for the wake up the next day.
Oh, yeah, great
late.
scene.
He runs and he's watching the boat go away and he's like, "What? Oh, you guys missed it too?" Like I liked him because he wasn't serious. He knew he was a dwarf. He knows what his limits are. But I liked the actor. He was a great elf.
He's like another level-headed. dwarf.
Yeah. He
Grounded
he
figure.
thought before he would act, and his printing is really good. It shows a little change purse on his belt. It's got good torso printing with the scarves and stuff up front.
Claws and buttons and,
And who
things.
couldn't love that Fargo hat?
That's a great piece.
It's a really cool. It's a rubberized piece with multiple colors on it. It's really cool. So,
It does have his angry face.
They put a lot of care and detail into every figure, which was nice.
exactly. And even though they have those stiff short legs, you can still just capture the character excellently. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked him because his character in the movie, he really wasn't the same in the book, but in the movie, I liked it. He's just a goofy kind of guy, but it's serious, and he was there for his brothers at the same time.
Exactly. This is one I've definitely collected a couple of. Not really with the context of the Hobbit movies, again, because I haven't really taken the plunge in it. I haven't read the book. But because my brother likes to make like northern fantasy kind of Viking style stuff, but not like historical, but more fantasy vibe. And that hat is perfect for any winter trek character,
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of these figures and they're great. So definitely would collect just based on aesthetics alone, not counting the good
It'd be
story
great if they
elements.
came out with a white version of this headpiece, so that way you can have like a snowman. or
Exactly.
so.
Yeah. A little bit more Arctic gear, but he looks like he could survive a snowstorm, no problem.
yeah.
So, and then Flounder, obviously you've collected
Yes.
this, yes. Every single
He
figure.
comes in like one of my favorite sets of all time. It's always in my top 5, which is The Unexpected Gathering, Bilbo and Frodo's house.
Exactly.
Like there's like 2 dream sets I have. One is like a UCS version of that. The other is the Flying Dutchman, not the SpongeBob Flying Dutchman. So yeah, great set too. It comes with a lot of great dwarves.
And doesn't he come in that set? And
Yeah.
does it come in any other sets, or
No,
just that one? Yeah,
just
so-
him.
Set
Some of
exclusive.
the dwarves you can only get in that set.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, and so that one's probably a little more expensive than some of the other Lord of the Rings and Hobbits figures because he's just in that now increasing price.
Because
set.
some of them have that extra, like later on, like the armor pieces, like Keeley, where he has also his early on outfit. But Beaufort, you can only get in that one outfit.
Interesting. Yeah,
I
a good character.
don't remember him changing much out of all that.
I think at the end, I think they all put on armor that they get in Erebor
When they're doing the
before
funeral.
the 5 armies. Yeah, and the 5 armies.
Interesting. Yeah. They had several outfit changes throughout the movie, which is cool. So.
And they all put on Lake Town outfits as well. So if you wanted, because even those Lake Town guard figures are kind of expensive, but you could basically get the bunch of Lake Town guards and put their heads on it, and that's another outfit in the movie.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. You could have like just multiples of every figure in every scene that they changed outfits. That'd be hilarious. So. Well, Flounder, what's the next one you want to present here?
I have Saruman from the Tower of Orthanc version.
Yeah.
Because he's got that skirt piece that's all printed.
Very nice.
I thought that was Count Dooku.
Sure, same guy. I guess. Put a lightsaber
Sir
in his hand.
Christopher Lee,
Yeah, that's another reason I picked him as a great actor. And yeah, I just really like that printing. I think it's really nice, really well done. I almost picked Galadriel because she has that cool cape, that like glittery cape. But I really like this figure.
Does she come with the two faces?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
Now, Flounder, you pointed out something that I didn't really recognize from earlier, is that he has two versions.
Yeah.
So he has a plain white legs version,
Yeah.
and he has the skirt version, which is hard to find.
Plain white legs comes in two sets. You get the alternate white leg piece from the Orthanc, and then you also get him with just the white legs in the, I can't remember what it's called, but it's
the Wizard Duel.
Yeah, Wizard Duel with the Witch King.
Interesting. So yeah, because the skirt piece really sells the kind of regal, magnificent vibe of this slightly evil wizard. So well, pretty evil. He's not slightly.
Just depends on which side you're on.
Yeah, it depends on what part of the book you're at. Yeah, but no, great character, great portrayal by the very famous actor.
He was also great in the movies, and I feel like he offered a lot beyond just his acting. You know, in the development of those movies.
Yeah, you'll see behind the scenes where he's talking about how you would get stabbed because he somehow knows about it from his military service.
Him and Tolkien were probably buddies.
They probably were. I think he's one of the only people that met him that did the movies.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think I think we have to corroborate that, but I'm pretty sure that's a fact.
Joe, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody in the comments.
Joe will know.
Yeah,
or Morgan.
Exactly. Or Morgan would probably know that too. Yeah, exactly. But amazing figure. And Grumpy, would you choose to collect the evil white wizard?
I'd have to get two of them though, because yes, that printing is really good, but I'd want a different head and a beard for a different kind of wizard.
So you'd make your own wizard with this outfit and vibe,
and then have to keep one obviously as Saruman. But yeah, that printing is really, really good on that.
I actually don't think he's too bad expensive.
He's
for
under 100 maybe.
Yeah, because the Grima Wormtongue is the expensive figure from that set. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like only found in that somewhat expensive set now. Yeah, so he can be.
He's a good character too.
Yeah,
actor as well. He was the voice of Chucky.
Grima to me always also reminds me of I can't think of his name now for some reason, but the guy at Lake Town, the assistant to the Lake Town guy, Alfred, I believe. Yeah, they never made him in Lego form, which was so disappointing to me because he was so funny.
I loved him in the dress. He's fixing his chest up, and he's like...
I love when he died and little coin just goes, and he makes the facial expressions. And, I wish they made him in Lego.
I'm surprised they didn't. He was a memorable character.
Well, they have room to expand if they ever choose to make some affordable size stock. Exactly. Well, speaking of a man of noble stock, let's talk about my third character I want to present here. Well, actually, maybe not so noble, but this is Gollum. This is Gollum with the open mouth version, because there's two old versions and there's one new version in the huge Barad-dûr set. But this is, I think, the best version of Gollum, because Gollum, he's not always screaming, but he's often, vocalizing. His face is so vividly terrifying that the open mouth really sells his character, I think. So.
Poor Schmeagol.
A great figure, a great character, very iconic, yeah. And I don't know all the Lord of the Rings characters' names or like their backstory, but I do know about Gollum. I'll never forget Gollum. I don't think anyone who's ever seen Gollum will forget Gollum and Smeagol.
He's that iconic.
He's not to say he's the face of Lord of the Rings, but he's one of the faces of Lord of the Rings. So I think no Lord of the Rings collection is complete without at least a version. This is the best one. It's a little more expensive. It's like $30, $40 if you can find it.
I can see that going down maybe now that they've made the new one.
If they make another one though, they should do it with the glowing eyes.
Well, they made one, but he has just blue pupils, which it's too bad we don't have it in person yet to compare, but I can
show a picture.
Yeah, I think this one, maybe it's nostalgia, but I feel like his eyes were just ginormous.
It's like CGI big eyes. Yeah,
I typically wouldn't like eyes like that, because one of the reasons I entered my Dark Age was because of the Clone Wars characters.
Fish eyes?
Yeah, and he has kind of those fish eyes, but I feel like it really suits the figure and the character.
All the other figures have regular looking pupils, but his eyes were like huge. They were like dinner plates. So yeah, it's I think it makes sense. So
Great printing with the wrinkles on the head. Got his little loincloth on there.
and you can even change the articulation of his arms by just swapping out the joints. It doesn't hurt the figure to do this, but you can have it go. There you go. So you
That's
can
a
be
Lego master right there.
you can be like reaching or holding something to his face. So it's really cool. And
fish.
I think the new figure is pretty well done, but not quite as well as like you were saying, Flounder. This one captures his spirit a
I
little bit
haven't
more.
really liked most of the new figures they've done with just the plain colored pupils, like the Gollum, Maul.
Yeah, blue or yellow eyes
Yeah,
without any
I like the
interior
pupils.
eyes. Yeah, yeah. It just seems a little bit like he's like glossed
It's like a
over.
misprint
Yeah,
if there's no pupil, I
Yeah.
feel.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think we'd all choose to collect some form of Gollum. So
Oh, yeah.
I think I actually have a Gollum figure. I'm not sure if it's this one though.
I
So
think he came in Dimensions in a set as well.
yeah, so the more
One of
the
them.
closed mouth is probably more affordable
Yeah.
for that reason. But yeah, Grumpy Jake, what's the next Lord of the Rings or Hobbit figure you have for us?
I'm going to go with the King Under the Mountain. I'm going to go with Thorn Oakenshield.
Nice.
I went with this one because of the crown, the printing on the crown, and the printing on the torso. It really stands out as he is a Dwarven king with all the gold. And I mean, Oakenshield, come on now. He got the name because he took an oak tree and used it as a shield.
Exactly.
And he won.
He's pretty boss. Yeah.
Or Master Grumpy.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah, but
fantastic.
his character's good. Like I said about dwarves, they're about their families. So he's always, I mean, all of them are kin. They're cousins, and he was about protecting his family. Even though he had the gold sickness, he was still there for his family.
Exactly. So,
And like I said, this one just has great printing on the back as well. The shoulder blade printing, the belt, that blue really pops with that gold and black.
there's something kind of satisfying about dwarven art style, and that really translates well to their armor with that angular, sharp kind of, not like mine-oriented, but yeah, very distinct look. So, really cool figure, very well executed. So, I don't know too much about this character other than just the some of the more iconic moments in the movies. But
I'm glad they treated it like they did in medieval times, real medieval times. You didn't have a surname back then. You didn't have a last name. It was whatever your job was. So really, he had a last name, his father's and his grandfather's last name. But you have to prove yourself for a name. And him protecting himself with an oak tree is the reason why.
there you go.
So like blacksmith, those are smiths today. So I like that they did that with the dwarves as well.
A good story element for sure. Flounder, you have this figure, of course, but what are some of the things you like about it?
Well, honestly, I've never held it because it's still sealed in my box. So it's nice to actually be able to look at it.
My precious.
Get a close view at it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I bought that set again to open and get the smog out, which is what I really wanted to do this year. But yeah, it was a really fantastic figure. That dual hair crown piece is really cool.
I
Great
just
figure.
wish it had a spot for like the jewel, for the king's jewel.
Yeah.
In the set, there's a spot above the throne they did. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. A great figure, Grumpy J. What's the next one you got for us, Flounder?
I have the blue coat Bilbo.
Nice.
So this came with the Blu-ray DVD, I think it was, or the
Special
Blu-ray
edition.
movie. Yeah. And I don't think this coat came, or you could see Bilbo wearing this blue coat in the theatrical version. I think it's only in the extended version when he goes to the market to buy the fish before the dwarves come. That fish that he's eating. So it's very exclusive and it's expensive because of that. But the printing of like his vest, I think is really cool.
Super high detail.
Yeah, it's different than all the other Bilbo. I mean, there's so many Bilbos and Frodos, but just a really cool figure.
Yeah, that blue has a great color combination with the orange vest and it's kind of more orangey
Most
hair.
of Lord of the Rings figures I feel like are very natural toned, so this blue is just different. I feel like
Vibrant. Yeah.
Yeah, that vest is amazing. That orange with the dark tan in there. That's good printing, and then the scarf around it too. Good colors.
Yeah, I'm regretting not being more familiar with the Hobbit movies because I wouldn't have realized how he was exclusive in the movie because you see him mostly in his. Doesn't he have a dark red coat
He has
for a lot of the movie?
for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a ton of different coats in Lego. He's got like the red one, this blue one. He's got a patch coat, which is really cool.
Yep.
That came in the poly bag, and then he's got just the suspenders.
A great character. I would choose to collect this because it's kind of a medieval fantasy torso, which would work great for lots of things. And also, I should really get into the Hobbit story a little more.
Yeah, this torso would be more like your high society.
Yeah.
For that.
A little better off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have him, but I don't have him in this variation. So I have him in the red jacket.
I believe that's the most expensive figure in all Lord of the Rings / Hobbit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of pricing does he go for now?
I got him sealed for 80 at the time. I think now he goes for at least 120. Joe, let us know.
So somewhere in that ballpark, over $100. So a pretty collectible figure. Yeah, he's very cool.
Yeah, I got the red coat one. I know.
The red coat one is still fantastic. Yeah, that's the one I got on a keychain the other day.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, we're going through these Hobbit figures, but let's do one more. My last Hobbit themed figure here. I'm pretty sure he was only seen in that he wasn't from Lord of the Rings, but this is Dane Ironfoot. And other than the final battle, I don't know too much about this character. I don't think there was too much in the Hobbit book about him either. But
Billy Connolly was his actor.
There you go. See, I didn't know that either. That's great.
Big Scottish comedian.
Yep. But he has an incredible look as a minifigure. He's got this huge double-sided red transparent axe. He's got this awesome multicolored helmet with these huge cheek guards. Huge red frill on top. He just looks phenomenal. He's got this great torso print. I think it's at least 2 copies of this figure just because he looks so darn cool. But he is, of course, from this great theme as well. So, do you guys, obviously, Flounder, you have this.
Yes.
Grumpy, as a dwarf fan, do you have any of this character?
I will today.
There you go.
This one will probably come home with me, too. No, even if you told me that this wasn't from The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings and just told me it was a dwarf, I could see it just being a battle dwarf. Having that helm that it has with that Roman kind of legion.
The crest, yeah.
Yeah. But that printing on his torso is really good as well.
Got a little bit of like a rose gold between the iron.
Yeah.
Battle Dwarf. There's that CMF one. I wonder if they took any influence from it because he has the red mohawk.
Yeah, they might have. But yeah, this one, I mean, he was awesome in the movies. I liked him riding around on the pig.
If only they made that.
Yeah.
That would be a cool piece.
And then, you could see him in the battle. He's
chopping away.
He's doing his damage as the king of the Iron Hills. But I think this one will probably come home with me again.
Yep, a great figure.
Yeah.
And of course, Flounder, you have this one as well.
For a character who really had such limited time in the movie, like they really went all out on this figure.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic
They should have added
figure.
the pig. They should have added the
And then
pig.
he's the one who ends up becoming king under the mountain at the end of it all, too.
Really? I didn't realize.
Because he was Thorin's cousin.
Yeah, watch this.
At the
That's why I
end,
said they're all related. The Blue Mountains are related.
Because
to
he's
the Iron
already
Mountains.
royalty, they just gave him that
I
promotion.
think it's in the
They carry
extended
his
version, but yeah, there's a part where they do the king is dead, all hail the king, and they point to him, or he gets the nod or whatever.
Yeah, gotcha.
It looked like he didn't want it though. When they did the nod to him, he's like, "Oh."
Well, he's got his own life too, but
Yeah, he's like, "I got my own
I get
plan to
this
deal
giant
with."
mountain now.
Yeah.
All this gold.
Exactly. But
Well,
no.
he was more familiar with the Iron Mountain or the Iron Hills, so that's what he wants.
A very cool figure, I think one that we can all appreciate. So,
Oh yeah.
Grumpy, what's the next one you want to present for us here?
Ooh, I don't remember his name, but I know he's the Skinwalker.
Beorn.
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 And he turns into a giant bear, and he doesn't care whose side you're on. He hates everyone,
Yes,
and he hates orcs more than he hates dwarves.
that's good.
I'm glad they made this figure. I wish they would have used the longer legs because he is
Supposed
to be like 7 to 8 feet tall, even when he's not in his bear. Because he even ducks in his own house.
Is he a giant or is he just a big
He's
human?
a skin changer.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
But it's his. He's the last of his kind,
Wow.
of the kind of skin that he is, and they're almost like giants.
Gotcha.
Kind of like Nords.
Yeah, yeah. His printing was. I chose it because not only great in the movie, but the printing on it with the vest going all the way down into the legs and the belt all the way down into the legs is really good. The hairpiece, though, I mean, that is
Elaborate.
that's
yeah.
just like a lion's mane, and how it is just one piece with the head. So, and they gave him a Jeff Goldblum chest piece.
Yep.
Gotta have
Get
that.
the low cut shirt.
Yeah.
Yep. Now that's interesting that they chose to do just one singular piece for the head and hair, but I think it works just fine because you would assume there's a normal minifig head under there.
I would think they would make it where the other head, like the other face, would be the bear face, black with some,
Maybe that'd be
'Cause-
interesting.
I thought it was awesome, and he's walking around, and like all the characters are in his house, and he's protecting them, walking around as a bear the whole time. Mm-hmm. So I think if they did a second face, it would be a bear face.
Interesting. Yeah, a very unique character in a huge cast of fantasy, elements, and he stands out quite a bit. So, Flounder, what do you think of this figure? I know he was in one of the more common sets.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about it?
I really also like his skin tone because I feel like that also sticks out for a lot of the figures.
A little more tan color.
Yeah. And I feel like they didn't do a lot of characters in that skin tone back then. So it was just kind of cool how he's kind of orangey, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool character.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And a good one. I think it's this is probably one I wouldn't choose to collect yet. However, as I do more, medieval and fantasy stuff, I might need that cool head and hair combo somewhere on a different giant character.
If you didn't use him in The Hobbit or that, I would say like he could even be like a small hill giant.
Yeah,
exactly. Give him a club.
Like he'd just be kind of isolated somewhere.
Or D&D, he's his own class.
Mm-hmm.
Like a half giant.
He looks like a barbarian type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice. Well, Flounder, what's the next figure you want to present for us here?
My next one's in this set, Helm's Deep, which I couldn't... This is the stores. We just got this one in.
Orlando Brick Coast.
I didn't have to bring mine in, but I couldn't open it just for this podcast. Sorry.
I get it.
But it's this Haldir figure.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe he was a Lothlorien elf, this one right here.
Yeah.
And that printing is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like the actor. He was in Spartacus, too, as Lord Glaber.
There you
not
go.
Lord. Not Lord. Was it Lego? I can't think. Glaber, I know that. Yeah, he's a really cool character. And again, just like Dane, he wasn't really in the movie that long.
Yeah, just a brief appearance.
A brief scene, I think, in the first movie, and then in Helm's Deep, the battle, and that was it.
So what happens? Does Lego just get some pictures and they go, okay, this guy must be big. We got a picture of him, so let's make a fig.
He's got
and
fancy
you find
armor.
out, you're like, oh, he's only.
I think
5
it just
seconds
showed.
in.
Even like the last 2 sets they've made, they really care about this theme, and they put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, they'll take elements that they think would be good to produce as a toy, as a figure that looks distinct and unique, and they'll make that. So you have like Dane Ironfoot. He really was only brief, but they're like that guy was important and cool, even though he was briefly seen. So they go all out. They went all out on Haldir as well. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, would definitely choose to collect that. I like elves. I think he's got that awesome elven hair. It's probably the same mold as Legolas, but
Yeah, it looks like it.
it's still a useful piece for sure. An amazing torso and leg print. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be really excited when I get mine out one day.
there you go. One day.
One
day. What kind of
3
time
years
frame
from
are you
now.
going to be opening these sets?
I thought it would be this year, but it's not looking like it.
We're only halfway into it. You still have
That's true.
6 months.
Hey, Christmas is coming. There you go. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
All right, I got
Get
Grumpy.
this one, and then you can open up one.
The thought crossed my mind.
You want 2. You have one that's sealed and one that's open. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Grumpy, would you choose to collect Haldir? You are an elf fan as well as a dwarf fan.
I do like the elves. Unfortunately, to me, the elves are more snobbish, the Richie kind.
Yeah, yeah.
Nose
They
are
eat
up to
plants.
everybody.
They're elitists.
Yeah, those vegetarians can't trust. I do like his printing though. If I had to change his head and hairpiece up, I could make it a king figure or some kind of knight. Again, these figures, all of them, you can use for any of the fantasy era. They just have amazing printing. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go with a Lord of the Rings and all, you got to complete your elf set. Yeah, but that maroon and gold printing is just amazing on them.
Yeah, looks really good. So you're as not a giant fan of elves. You're not as this isn't the top of your list.
Yeah, they're too high society for me. I like a little dirt and
More grounded.
Than a boar.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More earth and wood and stone. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
good. I like it. Well, that's a great figure, Flounder, nonetheless.
Hey, and if you buy this, you can get in the free Lego club.
I'm pretty sure, is this one that is... No, this one isn't in that set. It's in another set that is akin to this
that
one.
is on the back though.
Yeah, so it's
Here.
advertised as what you can combine it with.
Yep, came in this one.
The
here.
Uruk-hai Army.
Yeah, Uruk-hai Army
Yeah.
set.
This is Eomer, is that right?
Eomer.
Eomer? Yeah. And he is one of the Rohim.
Yep.
There you go. I'm trying to pronounce
You're doing
The
great.
horse guy.
I have
The
seen
horse
Lord of the
lord.
Rings, I promise. No, this guy was pretty cool. He's played by Carl Urban. He did a great job playing him. And the figure, but even before I had seen the extended edition of Lord of the Rings all the way through, this is an amazing figure. It's got a fantastic leg printing. Torso printing is really cool with this kind of spiral, kind of sun pattern. The helmet is a thing of beauty. You've got this very cool kind of Saxon-looking helmet, but it's on top of a horseback, kind of horse motifs around it. Gold printing, printed reddish-brown hair on the back. So super detailed. Love this figure. He's kind of expensive because of that. He's a cool character. Yeah, and I think I have at least 2 or 3 of this figure as well, just because he's so cool. I'm glad I do because he's gone up. But what do you guys think about the this character? What do you think about these? I know they can be a little bit kind of army built, collectible. Is this something you would get into, Grumpy?
Oh yeah, that helmet alone, it like you said, Saxon, even some Roman Legion,
A little Viking-ish maybe.
Yeah, so I can see using that helmet for armies. The legs with the chainmail print on it would be great for knights. But yeah, like you said, with that torso printing with the sun piece, that's really neat. And to have that nice dark forest green cape.
Dark green capes are expensive now too, yeah.
Yeah. And he was a good character in the movie and the books as well. And not a huge fan of them. But
yeah, you're not as big on the humans as the dwarves.
I could definitely get this one just for the look of them and have it in the collection.
Some great pieces. And you have this figure, of course, Flounder. What do you think about him?
Yep, he's also sealed, so holding him for the first time as well. But I also really like the actor in Ragnarok.
Yep.
Oh, geez, that sounded...
Just a little creepy.
That sounded expensive.
He's all right. He's fine.
Yeah.
He was in Ragnarok. He's in The Boys. Carl Urban does a lot.
So, definitely a great figure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we'd all choose to collect that, or if it was convenient, we'd get it. So,
yeah. If I can get it back when it first came out, I think.
Maybe one day they'll make more Rohim characters and figures, and we can kind of expand our armies a little bit.
You would think they would have, with as big as they were in the movie, that they would have had a set of their own with more horses.
It's unfortunate. It was really hard to get those Rohan soldiers. I think that set came with the Rohan soldier. It was just the one. That was the only.
Just one soldier.
That was the only way you can get a Rohan soldier.
When you see them, they're all together. There's 20, 30.
You want a whole hillside of them, So. Well, Grumpy J, what's the next one you want to present for us here?
I'm gonna go with the hammer.
There you go.
This is the dwarf. I never remember his name either. And
Dwalin?
Okay. He's the biggest dwarf they have. He's got the big hammer. He's one of the strongest ones. He if he can't push it down, he breaks it down. If he was modern, I would say he's the explosives expert. Demolition. His character was great in the movie. I liked him when they're going down the river and he's just wearing his one piece and he's all mad, water squirting at him. His hairline that he has.
Looks like he's got tattoos around the back of his head.
He's kind of got that Viking tattoos on his head with different rune spells, and because he is a cousin to Oakenshield,
a loyal cousin.
He's from the Low Field or the Low Hill tribes.
Okay.
Joe, you'll correct me. I know he was from a different family, but he's still related to them. But he's from, I thought it was the Low Hills, but. I loved his character. Yeah, I loved his character in the movie. When you have a big old, huge hammer and you're just demolishing, goblins.
Heavy weapons expert,
And he was just fun to watch. He was a good character to watch.
I remember when this figure came out, it caused a little bit of a stir for minifig builders because I think it only has a one hole in that small size cape. I think that was kind of novel at the time. We don't have to remove it to look at it, but I'm pretty sure there's just one access point for that cape. So it's interesting that they're starting to change things up because they also had the short capes for the Hobbits, which had two neck attachment points, so it was interesting. It might have been because of the beard, which is also a very cool piece. So a great figure. I think I have at least one of these. I might collect more at some point because I need to watch the movies, need to get all the lineup of characters, need to get on this train.
You watch it, you'll see him.
The extended edition.
Exactly, extended edition of the movies. There you go.
I just want him I wish his character would yell hammer, like hammer before he attacks.
I think he just about got there in some scenes. So.
Yeah, he was good to see though, just smacking everybody.
So, being a huge fan of this theme, Flounder, how do you feel about the Hobbit versus Lord of the Rings, and what did this character stand up to you at all?
For him, he to me embodies what a dwarf is.
Yeah.
So he's actually my favorite of all. Other than Gimli, he's my favorite dwarf.
That's awesome.
I actually wish they made his appearance in the prelude to The Hobbit, where he had a mohawk.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I like the Lord of the Rings movies better, but I know some people don't like the Hobbit movies. But I like the lighter tone that it had. I feel like it worked for the story they were telling. Yeah, he was my favorite dwarf from the Hobbit movies.
Fantastic, and of course you have him already, so yeah,
have him.
You're right. He does empower the dwarf feel to him.
Normally we have to talk about would you choose to collect this because we're this is like window shopping, but Flounder's got everything.
Yes, I would.
yes, I would. Yes, I did. Yeah, that's great.
Got it, need it, want it, got it.
That was my whole, it was 2 years ago, my whole thing was to get everything before Rivendell came out, because I knew once that, I gotta get it now, or I'm going to be like you were, putting your head through drywall.
Exactly. So, but you've accomplished your mission. You've gotten pretty much everything, except for a few.
Now I got to get the keychains.
Yeah, but odd things left over, so that's good.
Posters, keychains, and all.
I don't think any of these things are going to be going down in price unless they make a direct sequel. Like if they make more of these Rohirrim soldiers, we could maybe see the price go down a little bit.
I wouldn't be mad about that at all.
Yeah, and we're hoping for that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Then more people could collect them.
Exactly. But what's the second last figure you got for us, Flounder?
Also from this set.
Yep.
And I think it's Joe's favorite figure from the theme. So
I think that's a pretty good guess.
We needed to put this on the list, or he would have gotten real mad. But it's King Theoden, and he has that gold armor and that really cool helmet.
Dark brown with gold accents, yeah.
And one of the best pre-battle speeches, rallying the troops you could hear.
Iconic, for sure, yeah. Rousing.
Yeah.
Tear-jerking. Yeah.
A really cool figure. I haven't held him yet, but...
You've never held the figure?
He's in my box.
We've gotten a few at Atlanta Brick Co, and every time we do, we all kind of like do a precious moment, you know?
I'll have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. When you do, please document that experience.
Okay.
Get your reaction. Exactly. So, yeah, actually, you have your own channel, and you do your own videos now.
Yeah, we both have recently started, actually.
Exactly. So Grumpy J and Flounder, you got to go follow both of them.
Because Grumpy does Case of the Mondays every Monday night.
I figure people had a long weekend. They need a good Monday night show.
Exactly. Get you in the mood. So.
Yeah, I think I put out 3 videos now myself. Mostly
Fantastic.
vlog. I'm trying to capture like what it's like to work at the store. You know, get some stuff in the store, and then what I'm doing at home.
Don't show Joey because we know he don't work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, Lego collecting, that sort of experience. That's awesome. So.
Yes, if you want some additional behind the scenes, then you can check out that channel.
For sure, yeah. And a fantastic figure. This is one I do not have, and I would love to collect at some point. But he is pretty expensive. He's over $100. He's
in the store right now in this set.
I don't. It's a little outside
Look,
my
it comes
budget.
with another, more orcs and stuff.
It's a fantastic lineup.
$700.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
That's what I bought mine for, actually.
That's a pretty good deal for a sealed one, yeah. But yeah, that figure's amazing. I think eventually we'll get a good one in the store, and I'll be able to get him when I have some store credit lying around. But yeah, he's awesome. Grumpy, do you happen to have this figure or no?
No, he's in this box sealed, and he won't come out.
Yeah.
But no, I've seen the figure before, and it is a great looking figure. I do, again, that helmet. It just has that Saxton, that conquering feel to it.
Ancient warrior look.
And then his breastplate as well.
Super detailed.
Real detailed, and it's actually a medieval chest plate. So, good for fantasy if you're not looking for Lord of the Rings kind of figure. He can be a general or so for one of your armies. But yeah, love that gold printing on that brown accent like that.
Such a great figure. So iconic.
So majestic.
Yep. Make it shine with the sword.
He's got his horse and everything too. It's
the shield too. That's a nice shield.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, we'll move on from King Theoden and move on to another king, which is maybe like a little more horrifying. Another creepy looking figure from Lord of the Rings. But this is the King of the Dead, and he was, I would say, a notable character in the original Lord of the Rings movies. At the end, he appears there. He has a discussion.
If they didn't have him, they probably would not have won.
Exactly. Yeah, the ghosts really helped a lot. The
They're like a
undead.
cheat code.
Yeah, exactly.
They press like up left, B3 times.
They just phase through the ship and the walls, and they're just wiping out everything. They did a pretty good job. But the King of the Dead was an interesting character. He's pretty well achieved in Lego. This is again something they really maybe didn't have to do, but they decided to go all in on another cool, interesting character. He's got this cool sand green crown piece, which is typically only seen in gold, especially chrome gold in some of the older castle sets. So it's cool to see that in a new color. Dark red cape, very nice contrast. A very creepy head and expression. He's got 2 expressions too. He has like a sort of a grin and sort of a grimace. So he's got a couple different attitudes there. But he's also got a little bit of gold armor on his legs, which suggests a ancient and more noble past before he became an undead ghost that was just waiting to be released from his curse. But what do you guys think of the King of the Dead, both in the movie and in the minifigure?
Sand green being my favorite Lego color, I can't say anything wrong about that. But I do like the fact that it is not gold or silver. I like that it is a different color, so you can
ghostly looking. Yeah.
If you're just going to use the crown for someone else, you at least have that. But
Variety.
As a figure with the printing on him, it's incredible because the golden goes all the way up. So I mean, he's got chainmail, goes all the way through all his stuff. He's got printing all around him. That cape's a little stiff, but yeah, that printing on the back is amazing. Great little figure. I don't think I would collect it just because, I mean, unless I had like a Halloween section or a spooky part of
You're
the
making
town.
a spooky scene, maybe.
Yeah, but another king is just another king.
Gotcha. You can't have too many kings, otherwise problems start to happen.
Then
But
you
yeah.
have an emperor, and then an emperor supreme, and then you gotta keep going.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
Flounder, you have this figure, of course. Is this one that you've been able to build and play with?
Yep, this is mine.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I thought in the movies that this was they were kind of like cheat codes, you know. But overall, I really liked. It was a cool character.
Yeah.
And then they went out. They didn't just copy and paste his soldier. They gave each soldier their own printing and everything too.
Yeah.
And I like in my case, I have all my Lord of the Rings figures, and their heads glow at night, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So a lot of attention to detail there for sure.
Yeah, really cool figure.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning the soldiers have very distinct looks, and I was thinking about mentioning one of them instead, but I'm like, I guess I'll go for the leader, right? Yeah, it makes sense.
But it is cool that each soldier's different, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a copy-paste situation.
You can have some variety in his little squad of ghosts
Yeah,
wiping
like
out
the
everything.
Goblin earlier. It's cool that there are so many, unique
Variants.
figures. Yeah.
Very cool. Speaking of variants of goblins and orcs and stuff, Grumpy, do you have one more figure you want to present for
I
us?
sure do. The greatest of the armies, the White Hands.
Ooh, the white handprint Urukai figure.
Yeah, he's got a scary face, both sides. You know, he's got the basic armor, but you don't need the expensive glorified armor for these guys. The swords are incredible. They match what the movie has. The shield, unique design for the shield, plus having the hand on there. The helmets as well. You can't go wrong with these guys. The printing on legs, I mean, they went real detail with this guy.
And the Urukai were a pretty ferocious bad guy for our heroes to fight, but this one is special from the average Urukai soldier, which is already rather collectible, because he's got that white hand print on his helmet and shield, which makes him very special. They haven't redone that since these original first waves. So.
Didn't you guys receive one of these with a misprint where the white hand was like over on one side or the other?
I think we saw that at some point. I don't know if Joe was able to secure that or if it ended up going out for sale, but I remember seeing some misprints.
That'd be neat. They should actually have done that anyways with one here, one here, one here.
Maybe a misprint I'd actually be interested in.
Yeah.
You'd get a bunch of these with the hand in different locations. I think that would
totally make sense, yeah.
Because someone's not just touching the same spot each time.
There's a fun concept here, though, because minifigures have a little ring for a hand, so why didn't we see a little moon symbol on his head?
Well, to be fair, the orcs have a menu of meat.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. They're talking about menus even though they wouldn't know what that is. So yeah, there's a little bit of a leap of the imagination there. But man, that's such a cool figure. And this has gotten kind of expensive too. What are they, over 70?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago they were like 30. And this is always the more expensive version because of the hand.
Yeah.
I think now the shield's almost 30.
I was going to say the shield's getting up there because you can find the figure and the helmet always attached, but usually this comes separate.
The shield gets lost, yeah.
Maybe they'll go down now that Doors come out. And there's all those other variations.
Yeah, that or they'll release some more of these Urukai warriors for us to play with. We'll see.
I mean, I can see why you'd want an army build with any of these guys.
You have to. They at least have a squad, right?
Yeah.
And the sword's really cool, and they're still using the sword because it was used in a Black Panther set.
Yep.
Exactly. The sword is still in production. I think they had that in some Ninjago sets in like copper colors too, so thankfully that mold has survived, but hopefully they'll do more Urukai orcs in the future. So, and of course you have that one too.
Yes.
Flounder, yeah.
My in one of my cases, I think almost the whole row is these guys. So even on the head, it's the hand. So
It's a special head.
yeah, you don't even need the helmet for like if you have a bunch of these, you can really mix it up.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Hopefully they make more one day. That's all we can hope for. But Flounder, finish us out here. What's the coolest figure that you brought here
My
today?
favorite Lord of the Rings / Hobbit figure is Aragorn with his Gondor attire.
Oh, yes.
I just think that printing is fantastic. They don't really do a lot for Gondor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I feel like, the only reference you can really get for Gondor. Dual mold, or what would you call that?
Dual-sided,
cape. And fantastic scene. I always think of, for Frodo. So,
Exactly.
yeah, really cool.
Or My Friends You Bow to No One.
Yeah, that movie. Yeah.
Oh, man. Chills.
You don't have to bow to me.
What a great character! What a great figure too. Again, we talked about how these are some of the peak minifigures of the decade, but again, they went all out with. I mean, the double-sided cape. They did not have to do that. They could have had a black cape and they could have called it a day. No, they went with probably printed half of it.
And that red really goes well with the under red that he has. So
I also feel like he was such a good character. He could probably, just like Sand, he could probably lift Thor's hammer. You know.
Oh yes, I think that's
great
probably
character.
canon. Yeah, no, that's for sure. But
Yeah, I definitely would get one of these if I could. I'm sure he's up there in price now.
He's not as bad as you would think, actually, though.
if you save your pennies for a couple weeks, you can
We
get one
actually
of
have
these.
one.
Yeah.
We have the Black Gate set he comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to say.
Another amazing set that.
Actually, no, I think it's sold because I didn't see it when I got this.
Okay, so maybe that one sold already, but yeah.
Well, he does have that tree printing is really amazing with the 6 stars too. Even you could use this for even a
noble or something.
not just a noble, but like the Vikings when they Valhalla, and then you got the tree of life, the tree that holds all
just
9 realms.
Yeah.
You can make that
Yeah.
as well.
It would be nice to see more Gondor figures to go with him, but he's really cool on his own even. So, yeah. A very cool figure. Yeah, and I think I would choose to collect this if I got a convenient opportunity at some point. I don't think we have one at the Atlanta store right now, so...
He's not an easy figure to find, but at least he's not like as expensive
Insane.
as like a Blue Coat Bilbo or something like that.
Exactly. He's not quite that crazy yet, but still one to collect for sure. Just like all these amazing figures that we've gone through today, this has been a great exploration of why I need to watch the Hobbit movies again and make sure I'm really up to date in all the names and story. Some great figures brought up to my attention that I don't know that much about, so it's good. But thank you both Flounder and Grumpy J for your thoughts and opinions on this amazing theme, these figures. Hopefully they make more sets in sub $100 ranges so we can collect more cool characters.
I thought they were supposed to when they did the Amazon show. I thought they were.
I don't know if I want a set of that. But.
Yeah, at least they could have some Lord of the Rings and Fantasy Castle figures for us again. We'll see. But thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe both to the Orlando Brick Co. channel, Flounder, which is... Flounder Collects. You got Grumpy J, which
Grumpy
you
J
can find.
on all platforms.
And Marco Followers, too. I have my own channel, too.
That's right.
So lots of great YouTube content to consume. But until then, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Stay grumpy.
I definitely tracked Aomir.